So we just got up to Woody Gap. We just got done with our little Nero last night. We're getting ready to hike to Neel's Gap from Woody. And we get up here and it's a snow flurry. So now we're looking at a very epic kind of day. We're gonna head up Preacher's Rock, Blood Mountain, and down to Springers and hopefully have us a nice little campsite. But it looks like all that stands between us and there is a little bit of snow and wind. So we started up the trail. The snow is not laying off. And it looks like we're gonna have a pretty white hiking day. Whenever I checked the weather, it said this is supposed to keep on towards Blairsville till about 3 p.m. So we think Blood Mountain and Preacher's Rock and all above are gonna have some really pretty snow pictures today. So we're really excited.
Day 4, woohoo!
Day 4 of Macy's Thru-hike. Last night we stayed at Kennedy Resorts, which we were expecting kind of odd to be. We thought it'd be a little rundown campground cabin and etc. But super nice bunk beds. Let us rent out a bunk cabin for $100. Super easy to get to. And then on top of that, the meal itself was amazing. They had a gourmet culinary school chef who came up from Atlanta to work here for great prices, and we had ourselves a nice little romantic dinner. Just a good idea how steep our climb is today. Climbing in the snow. It's always just a fun, beautiful walk in the woods. So, we just made over Preacher's Rock, and wind was howling up there. The sun keeps peeking through on one side of the mountain, so it's melting the snow off pretty quick. But on this side, it's still just coming down real heavy and thick. Macy's been having some troubles with her hip belt. We're gonna get that figured out in Neel's Gap. And then Will's just vibing in the back, my guy. He doesn't really care. Yeah, she's got her doodle bug buff.
Rain hood off right now, but it's got horns on it. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, there you go. She's got her halo rests nicely on her horns. So, yeah. So Will enjoys the cold weather, which is shocking. But we'll get back to you guys here in a bit as we finish our little trek here through Narnia. So update is we made it off of the mountains. We dropped down the other side, and as soon as we do, no snow. So it looks like we're in for a good day the rest of the way.
Okay.
Did out unscathed. There was just a little bit of Rudolph nose syndrome going on. Doodle bug, or where the wild things are over here, looking at us all happy and giggly now compared to earlier, swearing at the wind. I'm just thawing out a little bit at a time. So it looks like we got about another 8 miles to go to reach where we're trying to get to tonight. We're either going to try and find somebody to try and split a room with, to try and make it dirt cheap for everyone where everybody can thaw out, or we're just going to tent camp and build a giant fire to try and warm up by and eat some dinner. So we'll get back to you guys in about 3 hours or so. We just summited the top of another good climb before Blood Mountain. Everything gets easy from here. Those words of wisdom from Doodlebug. So here's our view. Looks like the snow is trying to catch us a little bit.
Word of advice to anyone who wants to do this. Figure out how to breathe.
Hey, I assume that would help.
Kind of a needed thing. This breath.
Do you ever catch your breath, Doodlebug?
Once.
When?
About halfway up the climb, I had to like pull my pack off and go, but it did it. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
We have about 6 miles roughly, and we will be in Neel's Gap for the day. So we got about another 3 to 2 hours, depending on how we walk. All the ice and everything's finally melted out of my beard and hair and eyelashes. So I'm feeling pretty good and thawed out. I'm starting to sweat a little bit now, so it's warming up.
I'm sweating.
We're trying to debate where we're going to get a cabin or where we're going to camp, depending on the weather. So we'll update you guys on Blood Mountain, which is probably going to be epic in this wind and snow. Okay. So we've made it up to where the Woods Hole shelter is roughly. We are about 4.8 roughly to Neel's Gap. And as we speak right now, we're walking at roughly about 2.5 miles an hour average. We still don't know what we're gonna do once we get over there, except get our resupply boxes and get warm. And we're still aftermath of this whole hoarfrost and little flurry we had all day. The wind got to the point and so cold to where it froze the trees, and the pine trees over there just froze them over. They're just froze like the wind's still blowing through them wide open. We'll update you guys once again once we get on up and over Blood Mountain.
So I think I found my favorite spot on the AT so far. We'll show you a picture here in just a second. I'll make sure that Doormat and I can get that in there. But we're hiking up Blood Mountain now. Feeling a lot better. We've gone, so we've got 3.6 miles out of 11.2. You do the math. I don't know, I'm not here to hike. I'm not here to do math.
We've done 8 miles so far. Well,
8 miles.
9 miles now. We've done 9 miles now.
Heck yeah.
So you got just
9
about
miles.
2 more.
Y'all see how beautiful we started this? No. We started, come back to me. We started this day in 25 degrees, like pissing snow, and so windy it was knocking me over. And now it's like 40, it's sunny, and I'm just about to take this off. Maybe not. It's kind of corn, like kind of cozy, but corn. I don't know why I said corn. Anyway, it's gonna be in there now. It's beautiful. And we're almost there. We're getting to Neel's Gap on day 4. Day later than I wanted, but that's okay. We're getting there. Happy trails.
Well, can't put that. You ain't got to talk. This one will get music over it. All right, we made it to the top. We're about to walk out to the views. We made it to Blood Shelter, the oldest shelter on the Appalachian Trail. And all we have is just to climb down to Neel's Gap. We are on top of Blood Mountain. We started somewhere off over in that ridge and we came all the way over here. Just a wonderful, fun day. You can still see all the hoarfrost and snow piled up over there on the trees.
Look at the cloud. It looks like what you see in the movie.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna work our way on down to Neel's Gap and we're gonna get a cabin for the night. So we'll get you guys back over here later. I'm off of Neel's Gap is some of the most fun and most scenic that we have. We have to do this technique called the zigzag, where you put your feet down and you go zig, and then you cut to the corner and you go zag. And then you cut back again, you go zig, and then you run down the mountain and try not to bust your face. We have about, I'd say about another 30 minutes before we reach Neel's Gap. And we're just now hitting tree line again. So wish us luck. We'll update you probably whenever we get down the bottom, unless something more interesting happens. I'll get back to you guys later. Made it to mountain crossings. It was a 12-mile day roughly. It was a fun day. It's Macy's longest day on trail yet. So we're gonna go pick up our resupply, and then somebody, well, my Uncle Goo, has decided to come up and see us, so he bought us a cabin to stay in for the night. So thank you very much to him, and we'll get back to you guys whenever we can. When the hiker hunger already starts hitting early on. So I didn't get it before we absolutely hiker trashed the place, but this is where we'll be staying tonight, in the Neel's Gap cabin, the wolf cabin.
See, I told you just about every episode they say, "Oh my God, you killed Kitty, you bastard."
We're sitting here watching TV, hanging out. The view off the deck is amazing. I'd walk out and show you, but it's freezing cold out there and I really don't want to. We've been watching the frost slowly creep up over the mountain, anticipating for tomorrow. Yeah, that's about it. We'll just be staying in here. It's got 2 queen beds. There's one down here and one upstairs in the loft, and the couches will pull out, so it's gonna be a great night. Just waiting for my uncle to get here. Can't wait to see him. So we just got back on trail. We got a really late start today. My legs are feeling a little sore today, so definitely the push over Blood Mountain was a fun day, but it's beautiful and sunny. Although, don't let it fool you. It's still like, I don't know, what was it, 39 degrees? And then the wind's howling right now. We still got frost on the mountaintops, so we're in for a super cold day. Will got a new piece of gear today. He got a new stove. And Macy seems to be pepped up with energy. She's got new insoles. So we're hoping to at least make it about, what do you say, 8 to 12 miles today? Somewhere around there. So we'll get back to you guys here in a bit with some views. So we're back out here again. We had to get off trail for a day whenever we hit Neel's Gap, because we had some health issues with dual bug's foot. But we got it all figured out. So we're back out here again. And Will's pushed on ahead of us. He decided to go to Low Gap, and he said he's gonna push into Hiawassee today. So he's gonna do 21 miles. And that leaves me and Doodlebug taking advantage of the fact we had someone here with a car. So we're gonna slap pack over from Neel's Gap over to Cincinnati Gap, and then we'll pack in the rest of the way just normal as can be to try and make up for some of these lost miles, because we have to be at Fontana by deadline to meet up with my dad so he can go through with us to the Smokies and get another section under his belt, his section hikes. So we're just trying to crunch some miles in today. This new brace on Doodlebug's foot is killing it. She's walking 3 miles an hour again, just like she was before. With some Dr. Scholl's inserts. We've been going uphill for 2 miles. We just now leveled out a little bit. It looks like we're gonna hit our first summit of the day. So we'll get back to you guys, and hopefully we'll be at Low Gap tonight whenever we update y'all, sitting around a big fire, eating some Mountain House meals as a special treat. We're on the descent off of our first summit today, and it's just pretty much straight down. We have about 4 miles to go till we hit the road. We already got 2 behind us. Macy's blowing through miles again, so hopefully we'll be done and able to meet up with Mom and Dad on the road, grab our packs, and be in the shelter by 6:30, but we'll see. There's a little wiggle room in there for a snack break and a bathroom break along the way. We'll get you guys back up on the other summit. This one wasn't really that great, so we'll keep you guys back in the video on, I can't remember if this one's Buck Mountain or if this one's Foot, but anyway, we'll get back to you guys. We just passed the 3 mile mark. We hit it right under an hour.
Hey Dad, hey Ben, hey Beverly, hey Jesse, and Mimi, and same members. Okay.
So we had a good 0 day. Everything was going good. And then as we started going Neel's Gap, Dual Bug's foot started bothering her so bad we had to take a day off and get it checked out. So
It's all good.
that's a little more detail into that.
A little muddy, but it's good. We're trucking along.
Yep. She's back to her 2.5 mile an hour average starting out, so we're back to normal again. We are taking the easy way around this whole situation of being behind Will and easing her back into everything, making sure everything's okay by taking a slap pack day to about 6 miles. Just because we got out here so late after going to Walgreens and getting her all set up to come back out. So it ain't that bad. But we're estimating to hit Hiawassee in about 3 to 4 days, depending on how the weather does and how she holds up with her pack. We're carrying about 4 days worth of food. I'm weighed in at about 22.5 pounds with 4 days. Macy's weighed in at about 26. So we got some serious shakedown to do to her pack, but we're just gonna keep taking out a little bit as we go along what she doesn't use. Will, on the other hand, he outdone us all. His pack weight ended up coming out to like 18 pounds fully stocked with water and 5 days worth of food. So he doesn't even have to stop at Hiawassee except just to grab a minor resupply to get him all the way through Franklin. He'll be stopping over at NOC. He hasn't made up his mind whether he's gonna wait for us yet or not. Last time I talked to him, he said he's gonna do 21 miles to Hiawassee today. So I think he's just hanging out, killing time, or he's probably sitting around cooking a marshmallow, eating a pound of gummy worms like he always does. So anyway, that's it from us on our little update of the day. We're hoping about another 10 minutes we'll be on our second summit of the day and be over halfway done with our slap pack, and then we'll get back to you guys. The Wolf Laurel Top. This is our second summit of the day and our biggest one. How's it feel?
Didn't know it was our biggest one. It's nice.
Yeah.
Look at that view.
The last time I was here, it was raining. The sun had just peeked through, and I sat down right here on this rock with Dad and Will, and we ate for an hour and just looked at the horizon, watching the clouds roll over and the sun coming up. It's a wonderful day. Yeah, that's it. The mountains we're gonna hike are gonna be towards this way. We'll go up and over and keep following this chain here. That kind of starts breaking off towards like the Dahlonega area. Still, it's gorgeous. We got up here in about an hour and 15 minutes. Still killing those miles. We took a short little breather and just walked about 2 miles an hour for a little bit, just to kind of rest Macy's leg up, just to make sure we're not pushing it too hard. I think she still feels good. Are you still feeling good?
It feels wonderful. Like the cramps at first, starting after the 0 day, are pretty much a zero. I mean, we hiked like 2 miles. But starting out, my legs really, really, really hurt. But I heard my dad's words whenever I was a kid. Just don't stop. Come on, keep going. I know it hurts. And now it's just, I feel absolutely great. I feel like I could run a marathon. For a moment there, I did. I was literally running uphill about an hour in. So if you want to do this, it hurts. Don't give up, because I'm feeling better than I have in a week. Really.
That's one thing.
Future through hikers.
We always try to tell everyone that it's not just a simple walk. It's
God, no.
physical, mental, abusing. It's hard to describe it except for just physically painful. But it's just one more day in nature, so it's hard to be mad at it. So we just made it to our last summit before we get back to our packs.
I want to sit on it.
Okay. Macy wants to sit on the rock. All right, Ariel. We ain't got much further to go down to the road. It's just straight down this mountain here. And then once we get down to this gap, like over in here, we'll get to the road, and then we'll climb up that one over there. And then we'll drop down and we'll head off towards like that mountain range over there. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun day. Only about, say, 5-6 miles left, so we'll get back to you guys whenever we get to the car. We made it down to Cincinnati Gap. It took us about 2 to 3 hours, about 2 hours.
2.5.
And we're sipping on her Mountain Dew, enjoying her little bit of trail magic and getting her pack ready. And we're gonna try and make it to Low Gap by the end of the night. And if we don't reach that, we'll just have to push on through the extra miles to Blue Mountain tomorrow for the bad weather.
We'll see. We'll do it.
So here we are. We got our packs. We just climbed pretty much straight out of that valley. And right up there, I don't know if you can see it or not, but up on that ledge right there, we can kind of see a shiny rock. That's where we were on the video whenever we were standing there. And Macy decided to pull a Disney princess and sing. So here we are again. Macy looking like a Disney princess. Ain't that right, Bug? Anyway, so we got a few more ways up the hill. These big old things. And it's going pretty good. We're still holding pretty decent mileage. It took us about 17 minutes to do a mile up this, so we're still doing about 3 miles an hour. We have about 4 miles to 5 miles between us and Low Gap. I don't know if we're gonna make it or not, just because the sun's probably gonna set before we can get there. So what we'll probably do is find a good tent spot and tent it out and just make up the mileage tomorrow morning. But if we make it into Low Gap, we're gonna have a good old time. We're gonna build a fire. We're gonna stay up late. We're gonna swap manly stories.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good old day. We'll get back to you guys here later whenever we see something pretty, interesting, besides Doodlebug, or just whatever catches my eye. So I'll see you guys later. We're currently climbing up from Pigpen Gap. We got pretty good climbs here. We got about 3 humps and 2 summits. And then after that, we should be at Low Gap. In the event we don't make it to Low Gap, we're gonna try and get to that second summit right at sunset so we can watch it go down. Now that being said, I just want to show you guys something. If you look right down there, you can kind of see it. There's a pullover. Now, that pullover, people will drive up here from everywhere to look off at the view. That's right there. Those views we see, they'll drive over and see. So one of my encouragements my dad has brought up before, I just want to share with everybody, is if you're unable to do the trail and you just feel like you want to see all this, it's right here within spitting distance of you. You just gotta hop in your car and drive. Now that doesn't take away from the trail, make it any less unique, or take away from people who drive and see things. All it is just showing everybody can enjoy all this out here and all that it has to give. And that's all I want to encourage people to do. So we'll update you guys later whenever we get on up here to the summit, and probably catch a good sunset on camera. 30 minutes since our last video. We made it up our first summit of the day. We got one more hump, and then after that we got one more summit, and then we're either gonna camp there or go straight down about a mile. And once we go straight down, we're at this place called Neel Gap Shelter. It's a wonderful, tiny, cramped little shelter down in the bottom of a holler and right next to a creek, so it gets freezing cold. But the plus side is it has a privy. So, and in case any of you don't know what a privy is, it's an outhouse. Yeah, it's an outhouse that the caretaker comes and takes care of for you. So, it's better than digging a cat hole or pooping on a log. Words of Doodlebug. So, as you can see now, we're beginning our descent down to the holler below us. And then once we get down to this gap, we'll go up one hump. We'll gain about 100 feet elevation. Then after that, we'll be at about, I say about 2,800. And then we'll climb a summit and drop down, and we'll stop dropping. I about tripped and stopped recording, but as I was saying, I'm not really sure where we'll stop at elevation wise, but I do know we're gonna try and catch this sunset on this second peak. So we're gonna keep crushing these miles at about 3 miles an hour and keep on trucking through. We'll catch you guys here in a bit. Well, we didn't make it to the summit by sunset, but here you go. There's the sunset, just in case we don't make it. We'll update you guys down at the shelter in case we don't, but it's just a beautiful evening, and we started at 1 p.m. and we're already gonna knock out 12 miles. So hopefully this is just a gateway for Macy to start knocking out 20-mile days. We'll just see what old Doodlebug can do. All right, we'll get back to you guys later. So we made it up here to the sunset. Sadly, it's covered in trees, so it's not the best view. So we're not gonna hang out for long just because it's gonna get dark. Gut hook lies. They said it was a pretty view. It's an okay view. We'll give this a 6 out of 10 on the Doodlebug scale. Oh. So anyway, this is about it. This is what we got. So enjoy it.
You got
that and this. You enjoy this beautiful face too, and person, this beautifuler person.
My arms are weak.
Yes, they are. That's it for now. We're gonna go down to the shelter. We'll update you guys when we get down there for the night. Have us a drink, sit by the fire, eat some good food, and hopefully make some new friends along the way. Because tomorrow we're probably gonna walk past everyone again, so we'll see. We'll get back to you guys later. So we made it here to Neel Gap after about 5 hours, roughly 5.5 hours. We did about 11.9 miles today. Went up over Neel Gap, came over Hog Pen, had a rough climb out of there, and now that we've reached down here, I think I'm gonna crack open a beer and sit down and enjoy a good evening. So we'll get back to you guys tomorrow morning. Back on trail today. We just left Neel Gap. We slept in a good bit because we got in so late. My sleeping bag, we threw it out and the loft didn't have time to fully puff back out. We were shaking them, but climbed in, took a little bit to get warm, but once we were, man, I was out. Doodlebug had a little bit of issue, said she was a little chilly, had a good breeze coming in, but other than that, it was a wonderful night. Somebody had a fire going and had some good food, and we just hung out by the fire till about 8:30, and then we crashed out of sleep. So today we're gonna head up to Blue Mountain, and then hopefully from there to Trey, and then we'll do 12 miles into Hiawassee. There we'll either get a Econo Lodge room and split it a few ways, or we'll decide to just camp out by the road. We're trying to stay on that deadline to make it to the Smokies by the 3rd, so it's kind of a race against time. But today we're walking on an old road bed. You can see here they got the old bridges holding them up. Old dirt banks. Macy's killing it today as always. So we'll get back to you guys here in a bit. So we just made up one of our first parts of our climb. We're going downhill. There's a little bit of a doozy. My cheeks are like bloodshot red. Macy got it. She's filling up her water. One of the things I get asked a lot about starting so early is a lot of people who went sober always tell me there was no water in Georgia. Well, I mean, this is what we deal with. It's just icicles and there's water everywhere. And I mean, everywhere. You'll be walking down the trail, you can see the whole trail is just a little bit of a river. So there's just water everywhere for us. For those of us who don't really filter that much, it's a blessing because coming down off these rocks, as long as there's no trail or any encampment up above, it's wonderful, clean water that we ain't got to worry about getting sick off of. But we got about 5 more miles to Blue Mountain, and then we think we're going to stop, eat lunch. Oh yeah, look how clean that is.
There's nothing in it.
Nothing. But we're discussing going all the way to, we're discussing going to Trey Mountain today, depending on the weather and how we feel and just what mood we get in. So we'll get back to you guys later. We're about a mile before Blue Mountain. And we're doing this little section here. It's real fun. It's just a bunch of mossy rocks. It's like you'll round the corner, you'll walk on dirt like this for a minute, and then you gotta walk on rocks again. And it's just real pretty and neat because the whole forest floor is just covered in them. You guys take a look. I mean, it's just rock, 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 rock. But you look up through there and it's just
More rock.
grass, mossy covered rocks. Goes down to, just really cool. So we're back here in the woods. We just made it through Hiawassee, Georgia. We pushed in from Blue Mountain and it was a terrible rainy day. Made it really hard to record anything. And then early this morning was kind of the same deal and we were in a rush to get out here, so didn't really get a lot of footage, but we made it back out and that's all that matters. We can doodlebug, some oatmeal, trying to make the best of a rainy day. The rain's already lightened up incredibly, which is what they said it would do. We'd get today and tomorrow of good weather, and then Friday it's supposed to come down pouring cats and dogs. But we'll see, because it says it's going to end around 11 and 12 again. So as long as it's just little sprinkles, I don't think I'm even going to put on my rain jacket again, because it just makes me sweat and I get just as wet anyway. But doodlebug, a little stylish thing, a little velvet. Or is it violet? It's violet, isn't it? The purple.
What?
Your jacket's violet, right? Like a purple violet.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I am of the male gender, so I have a really hard time with colors.
Oh, God.
But anyway, we're back out here. That's all that matters. It's already clearing up to just fog and a little bit of a sprinkle. So we're looking at a wonderful, glorious day on the Appalachian Trail.
Did you mean violet as in the color?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about velvet, like the material. I'm like, no, my raincoat's not velvet.
No, I meant violet. Anyway.
My bad.
Yeah, no. So here we are, once again, just trying to survive. Will's waiting for us at Muskrat Creek today so that we can all meet up. We'll be doing an average of 12 to 15 miles a day from North Carolina to Fontana, North Carolina. So that way we can sit at the Fontana Village. Dad's going to meet us up there. And then we're going to hopefully jump through the Smokies. Probably by the time I get this uploaded, we'll already be going through them. We're coming back here. And it actually got now to turn off foggy again. But that's all right. We going a little slow today, but we're just warming up from that long day yesterday.
I miss the snow.
She misses snow. It's a little hot out today, so we're sweating.
Little.
We've been sipping on water, trying to make it last because we got water source coming up, so we're killing a little bit now to drop some weight. But we'll get back to you guys later. Guys, we're back again. We're climbing at Cowart Gap. Like I said, we're going a little slow this morning, no rush. And we're going up this horrible climb. And I mean, it's fun, but it's just straight up. By looking how far down I am from Macy, how far up she goes. I'm basically holding the camera up at my forehead, and she's still over halfway up the screen. How's it feel? We've been talking about a couple of placeholder names, or some new trail names for her to replace her placeholder. Right now we're stuck between Gizmo, because if you feed her too soon or you don't feed her soon enough, she turns into a gremlin and goes total crazy mode. Then we have Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. Because she doesn't eat, she gets cranky as hell. And then Snickers, because she isn't who she really is when she's hungry. So we gotta go to the shelter and let the one with the most mileage on the long distance trails decide what her trail name is going to be finally, since we've come up with a few to choose from. Are you excited? I feel the same right now. We're having a rough time getting up out of this gap. But on the bright side, the shelter's only like 2 miles. And then it's lunchtime and bathroom break. And then we get to push on to the North Carolina border. And then there we'll have another snack break. And then we'll have about 2 to 3 miles uphill. And then we'll be up at the shelter for the night where Will's waiting for us. So we'll get back to you guys later. So after dropping my phone and trying to film this, this is kind of the experience we have in North Carolina right here. Those laurel tunnels seem to get thicker and thicker. The trail becomes nothing but roots over and over. We're not too far from the shelter, but we're probably gonna sit down, enjoy some lunch. But this laurel thicket like this is what I try to explain to people. I say all the mountains have different personalities. North Carolina's high elevation, and it's almost like a jungle. Georgia reminds me a lot of home just because that's where I grew up, but it's a lot of steep pulls, a lot of gradual climbs after. Mountain springs everywhere. Nantahalas, the Nantahalas are just something else. And so is North Carolina. We ain't crossed the border yet, but just getting close to it, we can already see a change in it. Just laurel thickets all the way around us. So, anyway, we'll get back to you guys down at the shelter. Just figured I'd share that about the Carolina personality of the mountains. Doodlebug has officially hit one of her thru-hiker moments. We get down to where the shelter is, sees it's 0.2, and decides, heck, I'd rather do the 0.2 or 0.7 up to the summit than go all the way off trail to the shelter, eat lunch, and then come back to the trail and go up. So we're gonna push on a little bit further till we get a little tired, and we're just gonna plop down wherever we are, eat some snacks, take off our packs, do our stretches, and hit back at it. We have about, I'd say, 6 miles to go on the day, so we're actually doing pretty good. So we'll get back to you guys later. So, just gonna start off this clip with just saying we are terrible at keeping what we say, like doing what we plan or anything like that, because here we are, passing the summit, passing the gap, and again climbing uphill because we got distracted and then we weren't happy with the other break points. So we're like, you know what, let's just push to North Carolina and then take our break. So 2 miles to go, and then we get lunch. But we got distracted down in Blue Ridge Gap because we ran into a ridge runner, talked to her for a bit, and then we pushed on down and saw Dozer and his dad, which are some trail friends of ours, and sadly his dad's gonna have to get off. So that man was a real hard hiker just because of the fact he's got metal in his legs and plates in his feet. So that man was a hard hiker for the condition he had to walk in. And then Dozer himself, he's called Dozer for a reason. So I feel we'll be seeing him catch up to us soon enough. But here we are, once again doing what we always do. Push our break further and further out till we're like 5 miles before the shelter and say, oh no, let's stop here. So we'll get back to you guys later, whenever, wherever we decide to break. So we found a spot to take a break just because we gave up on finding the magic that I remember. Macy was about ready to. So we finally found a spot to take lunch on a log right before we go up the top of this hill over here. Because, you know, you just kind of see one hill and you're like, that's one too many, and give up. But we were looking for a magical view that I remember being out here, and I can't find it. And I felt like if I said one more hill one more time, Doodlebug was going to absolutely strangle me. So I think it was a smart idea just to stop and get some food in her. And that's why her new trail name is probably going to be Snickers. Because you ain't you when you're hungry. But anyway, we're going to get up top of this hill. If we do find the rock, we are going to stop and take a second break just because we're doing so good on time. And we're not really stressed about it. And that's the whole point we're out here, is to enjoy it. So we'll get back to you guys later. So these next few miles are going to be kind of a little bit of a big deal for Doodlebug. One thing that I think everyone should experience is hiking on their own a little bit. And she's not far behind me. The whole deal was, I'm going to say about maybe 20 minutes ahead of her. So I can hear her yell she needs me. We're still within hollering distance. It's always real good to be about that space. But today will mark the first day she's ever hiked on her own. So that's what we're doing here. Is I've spaced out a little bit. I took off from the break a little early was all. I wasn't really planned. It was just more or less she said she could do it. And every so often I'm going to draw on the trail to let her know I'm still in front of her. And then I'm going to wait for about 1 mile. I will stop and make sure she's behind me at the Georgia and Carolina border to get our picture together. So I'll get back to you guys then, unless I find my rock. Then I'm stopping at my dang rock. I still have not found the magical rock that I remember from North Carolina yet. It's here somewhere though, I'm telling you. So I'll get back to you guys. I found the rock that I remember. It's one of those things that your memory really makes things grander sometimes. But to everyone else walking by, it looks just like a rock. But this right here is where I first got to start hiking on my own. Will went on to the shelter without me. And then this is where I spent the rest of the evening suffering, walking across the North Carolina-Georgia border. So it's a rough little section here. But I'm not 100% sure if this is the rock or not. But I do know it was on one of these rocks that happened. So I guess I'm going to chill out here for a minute, wait for Macy, and enjoy the breeze. Oh, watch this, watch this. I don't know if you guys can see her or not. Hey, Doodlebug! I found the rock. She's just happy because that means she can stop for another few minutes. I told her if we found the rock, we're taking a nap. So I'll get back to you guys later here in a bit. I'm sweating like a dog right now. Whew. We're back again.
This is my favorite part. Look at just how pretty it is to walk in the laurels. Like, just walk with me.
It's just all the way through North Carolina. It's just laurel thicket after laurel thicket after laurel thicket.
Just listen. Walk with me and listen. Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's about as peaceful as Bob Ross out here right now. These ridge walks, I just feel like Bob Ross. Happy little trees. Back to you.
No mistakes, only happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. Yep.
That's it, only happy little accidents. So you got stuff like this. This is the dangers of being tall on the trails because she just walked right under it. For me, it's a freaking head hazard. Ugh. But anyway, we'll be back here in a bit at the border. Doodlebug has caught up with me. We're heading to the border, and then we'll be exactly around 2 miles from the shelter. And that'll be it for the day. We'll be reunited with Iron Will, and the Elder Council of the trail mileage will finally give Doodlebug her official name. Here at the notorious Georgia-North Carolina border. As we pass this sign, we are hereby making it further than over 50% of the people who attempt to hike the Appalachian Trail. So, it's been uphill to it, but any final thoughts or words on Georgia while they're on your mind, Doodlebug?
That made me think of Georgia on my mind. Well, we can't say, oh yeah, we're from here anymore once we pass the line.
Nope.
These are just some of my final steps in Georgia, and I won't see Georgia again Until probably July.
For about 5 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Ooh.
I'm in North Carolina. Oh, they got
Ooh.
a new sign.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to come around and look at it. Just go whoop. Oh, well, they did. They got a brand new sign. How's that? Isn't that for crazy?
Yeah.
Let's get a picture with it.
I can't see shit. You're recording.
Yeah. Of course I'm recording. You think I'm gonna let my quality content not include us awkwardly staring at viewers?
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It's fine. It's crazy that they got a new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here we go. Kind of wondering why there's a random pencil. Is that right?
I don't know. There's a pop growing into the tree and everything else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be touching anything from in there. Doodlebug's brave, but I'm not. But, all right. She's wiping her hand on me right now as we speak. All right. So, well, I'll update you guys here again in a bit. We got some monster climbs to get up before we get to Muskrat. So, we're going to try and knock those out before it gets too late in the evening and get to a sunset.
There.
1 second. Right there.
There.
So, we're going
up
to get
there.
climbing. We'll talk to you guys later. Look, y'all. North Carolina ain't no joke. You come out them doors, and boy, she's swinging like a trucker. A 0.5 climb up. But just to give you an idea, Doodlebug is freaking like 3 steps ahead of me, and that's how much elevation you gain, 3 steps. It's just up.
7 accurately, but yeah.
Just straight up. I can go right there, and oh, where she is. That's it. That's all you do. You just walk straight up. And it don't look like much on camera, but I'm telling you, whew, it is just keeps swinging on us. But I'll put a picture elevation for it just to get the idea. It's only 0.5 is what I kept saying, but man, that 0.5 is gonna take forever. Whew, just straight up. We've reached the top, apparently. Oh my god. Oh god. Hey, it went flat. Oh, I know the next hill's there. Oh, okay. Take one of me. I'll stand here and record you. We'll get back to you guys in a bit. We reached the top of those 2 big climbs. It was a monster. And then the other one was just as bad. Macy said. So we made it up. It was a little bit of a monster of a climb. And then the second one was even worse, but Doodlebug says they lied about mileage.
No, not about mileage, about how rough it was.
But here's our view at the moment. Just down a short blue blaze. So we're gonna chill out here. And we're gonna eat us a Cliff Bar, drink some water, and we're gonna head on to the shelter. How you feel about that, Doodlebug?
I want to rest.
Anything hurts?
Everything.
Sounds about right.
Specifically, for those of you that want to do this, my back in between my shoulder blades from the weight of my pack. Don't have it. Your shoulders shouldn't be hurting. The muscles on my back are killing me. They were hurting a lot worse though earlier. And my legs, the front of my shins, my knees, my feet, both sides of both of them, top, bottom, left and right. It all hurts.
So the Carolina crawl is kicking your butt.
Oh yeah. Oh Caroline. But it's worth it. It really is.
It's a beautiful view.
I can hear the wind.
We'll get back to you guys here in a bit when we reach the shelter. So we made it to where we were going today after about 12 miles, and
We made it to the shelter only to get raced there by a woman and then beaten out by these two guys who have gigantic mattresses in there. So there's no room but for like 5 people total. And now we're up here reunited with Iron Will. Woo! And Will has found us this awesome sunset spot.
Got top of the mountain laurels. We got a campfire.
We're gonna be
Have a nice sunrise.
has a wonderful sunrise.
And beer.
So we're gonna get back to you guys tomorrow morning at some point. I don't think I'll do a starting out because it's supposed to rain, but we'll holler back at y'all.